With the advent of the Nintendo Wii, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3, something very interesting and exciting was happening in this era of gaming. For the first time on home video game consoles, gamers were able to digitally download games off of their system's online store and save them onto their system's internal hard drive. Whether it was the classic Mario Brothers that was downloaded off of the Nintendo Wii store, DuckTales Remastered off of the Xbox Live Marketplace, or Noby Noby Boy off of the PlayStation Store. This was a big deal. Gamers now had the immediacy of browsing a game of their liking and instantly downloading it within a short period of time to then play soon afterwards. It also meant that they didn't need a disc or a cartridge to play a game. Because of this, there was an emergence of creativity and opportunities put forth by small indie developers in creating smaller budget digital-only titles. One could say that this was the beginning of core gaming becoming more mainstream. Game designer and CEO of that game company, Genova Chen, was one of the many individuals who took advantage of the emergence of Sony's PlayStation Store. Him and his team would now be able to develop high-quality games as an indie developer on a powerful system. With his first PlayStation Store game, Flow, being a calm and unique experience that incorporated Sony's 6-axis motion controls, he would then go on to create Flower. Flower would also incorporate Sony's 6-axis motion controls. Flower was a massive success and had most fans questioning what his next project would be, and if this indie developer would be able to outdo himself with his next title. In 2012, gamers had their answer. Journey, developed by that game company and Santa Monica Studios, was everything and more that we could have hoped for. It fit perfectly in the realm of core gaming, and was even a game that was able to compete with the bigger game studios that dominated the market. This is Journey for the PlayStation 3. So let's just get this out of the way. Journey is nothing short of a masterpiece. Even the most hardcore of gamers will find something redeeming and worthy of their time. With its average first playthrough runtime being around 2 hours, it requires very little of you, and the payoff and experience you will retain from this game is more than just rewarding. Journey is a document of what a good game and excellent game design should be. I'm sure you'll stumble upon many reviews for this game, and all will tell you pretty much the same thing. Journey is a masterpiece. Journey is beautiful. Journey is amazing. All those other individuals or reviewers would be right. In Journey, the premise is simple. Keep moving forward towards the mountain and its light. Along your adventure towards the mountain, you'll meet other cloaked characters along the way. You'll jump and fly with the X button, and solve puzzles to open up pathways to reach previously inaccessible areas. Collecting the glowing symbols throughout the game will make the scarf on your cloak longer, allowing you to maintain much more of a sustain in flight that will make jumps easier and allow you to reach higher platforms to discover ancient statues or other hidden items. It's all fairly simple. And in this realm of gaming, simple is good. In Journey, you can truly see some of that game company's previous game mechanics finally all comfortably coming together in this 2012 release. The narrative plays out through cutscenes where the gamer will see these sort of ancient alien hieroglyphics with the completion of each level. This, of course, as you would guess, has spawned many theories and opinions about what Journey is actually about. As simple as its premises, the mysteriousness of the game's characters and central figure make it more complex in its storytelling. I've tried to stay away from overanalyzing Journey, but a simple explanation of its plot, or rather, what we could guess the story is about, is as follows. The mountain seems to hold a sense of power over the realm that you are in. As you progress, the cutscenes appear to show you images of a once thriving civilization. We are uncertain as to why we, the player's purpose is to reach the mountain, but the mountain is a symbol of power and goodness. The closer you get to it, the more complex and detailed the world of Journey becomes. The mountain is an omnipresent figure that does hold a mysteriousness to it, but also a sense of wonder and calamity as you journey to get to it. In a strange way, reaching the mountain gives you a sense of hope towards the end. Just because I describe Journey as being a simple game, that doesn't mean that it doesn't come without its challenges. In later levels, there are these flying dragon-like monsters that you will have to avoid along the way. Their sole purpose is to deter you from your path. They can't necessarily kill you, as you can't actually die in Journey, but getting injured from them will shorten the scarf on your cloak, which will then take away sustain on your flight. You'll also battle the forces of nature that will make your adventure even more difficult. There are many beautiful and fascinating moments within Journey, but the most unique and special moment that exists within the game is the slow realization that the other cloaked characters that you meet in the game aren't just NPCs or artificial intelligence. The other cloaked figures you meet are actual gamers who are playing with you at the same time. On one's first playthrough, they may not know this until the game's conclusion, where it will display the other players you've met along the way. On this particular long play that I did with Journey, for the first time ever, I encountered a player who earned an all-white cloaked wardrobe. When I first encountered them in one of the desert levels, they ended up showing me a bunch of secret areas of the game that I had never seen before. We even explicitly decided to follow each other throughout the game, all by communicating with our wordless musical chimes that we could emit from our heads by pressing the circle button. Towards the end of the game, I thought I had lost them. As I was flying towards the mountain, I then begrudgingly decided to finish the game alone. But just then, in the distance, they emerged once again, where we celebrated in a euphoric moment and decided to press on towards the end together in Journey's conclusion. This is what makes Journey so special. The other characters you meet along the way are real people. Each new journey you take will be a different experience every time, even if you embark on an adventure alone. I've honestly played Journey at least once a year since downloading it back in 2013, and quite frankly, I can't recommend this game enough. It'll lead you to becoming a big fan of Genova Chen games, and will even lead you down a rabbit hole where you'll discover other games with the same style and tone of Journey. Core games like Journey are gateway games that can turn a non-gamer into a gamer overnight. This small indie game would go on to win a ton of Game of the Year awards in 2012. We're talking about a year where a Halo 4, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and a Resident Evil 6 were released. Journey getting recognized with Game of the Year awards is a significant achievement. It really was the little game that could for that year. In a year filled with video games with dark tones, gray landscapes, and concrete jungles, a game like Journey was more than just a breath of fresh air at the time. It was necessary. Also, remember how 2012 was the year the Mayans predicted the world would end? They even made a movie about it. What a strange year. Indie developers winning Game of the Year awards over big-budget video game companies who just rehash the same ideas over and over again? Sounds like the apocalypse, alright. Journey feels like you're watching the Mona Lisa being painted in front of you for the first time. There is a huge cult following of this game with great admiration for it, and rightfully so. Journey is a reminder of the creativity and imagination that can exist within video games. All the awards and accolades it got were more than just well-deserved, and it allowed that game company, along with Genova Chen, to receive even more recognition and credibility for their future game endeavors.
I often think myself as like a video game evangelist, right? I want people to love games, so what can I do is to try to make something that could potentially allow us, the game lovers, to share it with other people.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Select. If you like what you've seen and heard, give us a like and subscribe. This is Dusty Maxwell, and we'll see you on the next one.